So, assalamualaikum everyone. What's up, everyone? We will be reacting "Who's the Richest Person in the History" by Jack Hawks by Kay's friend Jack Hawks. So yeah, we will be reacting to that, and now we're gonna react to it. So let's react to it in 3, 2, 1, start.
That's 30 times longer than human beings have existed. And in the time it's taken me to tell you this, Elon has made another $100,000. But the
Bruh, are we serious? It only has been 16 seconds and already Elon Musk has been got $100K. Are we serious, bruh?
craziest thing about Elon is that he's not even the richest person in history. He's actually not even close. If you look back in time, there are people that make Elon look broke.
Bro, in the past, people make Elon Musk look like broke, like they're roasting Elon Musk, like yeah.
So let's go find the richest human to ever exist. Starting in the late 80s with a Colombian billionaire who revolutionized the energy supplement industry. Pablo Escobar. He was raking in
What? Who is Pablo Escobar? Bruh.
420 million a week, but his net worth after inflation only reached 80 billion. So on paper, he's not even beating Elon. But unlike everyone else in this video, Pablo's wealth wasn't tied up in stocks or politics. He just had literal dollars. He was spending $1,000 a week on rubber bands just
Like, oh, what? He spent those money just for rubber bands. Are we okay?
to hold them together, and damage to them cost him $2 billion a year. So Pablo wasn't the richest person in history overall, but if we're talking actual cash, he probably was. But let's go back in time to see a very different kind of wealth. The year is 1945. World War II just ended, and it's in these ruins where we'll find one of the richest men to ever live. Joseph Stalin, the communist ruler of the Soviet Union, was uninterested in money. He had practically no personal possessions outside of his pipes, books, and plain military tunic. He did live much better than his citizens, having access to things like food, but he wasn't basking in luxury. His pay stubs show him making today's equivalent of $30K a month, but according to his son,
30K a month. That is not even close because Elon Musk made like now he made 1 million. I don't know. In 60 minutes, Elon Musk made 100K. So yeah, he makes in 1 month 10,000, I guess, yeah, but not that much. So yeah, I think yeah, third I don't know what I'm saying, bro, but it takes 1 month to get over 1K for him. So yeah, Elon Musk is beating you, bro.
he just let the checks pile up on his desk, and he probably didn't even have a savings account. The reason Stalin is considered one of the richest men in history, despite technically having no money, is because he didn't need money. He already owned the entire state. Doing anything that questioned his
Whoa. He didn't need money, but because he got the whole state. Bro, he's showing off his aura, man.
power, even something like telling a private joke would get you gulagged or executed. Stalin had so much control.
Bro, I think this is too much. If someone made just a single joke about him, headshot in the back. What am I saying, man?
That after he had a fatal stroke, no one called a doctor for 12.
And yeah, if he wakes up, you three are cooked, man.
hours because everyone was too scared of Stalin waking up and punishing them for acting without official orders. So despite being broke on paper, Stalin had complete control over an economy that would today be worth $10 trillion.
Alright, bro. 10 trillion. Man, those three, if they saved his life, they would literally be the owner of literally 15 like this guy. If those three give his life back, he would reward him those three from his states in some cities, bruh.
See, in order to find the richest person in history, we need to think bigger than just money. Every person in this video will represent a different time period and a different form of wealth, whether it be political power or cash or company equity. And in the end, only one will be determined as the richest person in history. So let's move on to our next contender. In 1909, Adolf Hitler was home in postcards just to get by and
What is Adolf Hitler? This is his house. That is his bedroom, bro. I am grateful that Allah didn't give me that. Allah gave me more than that. I'm just so grateful, and you guys should be too. If you're grateful, you might go to Jannah. If you're not grateful, you have time, bruh. Just be grateful for what you have.
Sleeping in hostels. Then, after fighting in the First World War and beginning his political involvement, he attempted to forcefully overthrow the government, which got him locked
Yeah, man, you don't have to do that, man.
up for 9 months. Hopefully, he'll use these 9 months
What am I saying, bruh?
Mein Kampf. Upon release in 1925, the Racism Manifesto met with mediocre sales. But as Germany's situation declined, Mein Kampf's popularity grew. And when Hitler took power in 1933, the book was everywhere. It was also around this time when Hitler realized
I think that should be Iron Man or Mr. Martin. I'm just roasting Iron Man. He did nothing, bruh.
he had access to developer commands. He instructed
I think he has hacks in real life.
the government to buy 6 million copies of his own book and hand them out to soldiers, government officials, and newlyweds. He then avoided a $2 million bill by making himself tax exempt. His next lick was copywriting his own image, which allowed him to collect royalties on every postage stamp sold in Nazi Germany. Then he copyrighted his speeches so he could collect money when they were printed in the news. These passive income streams made Hitler millions. By the end of his life, Mein Kampf had sold around 10 million copies, which actually isn't an insane amount. For reference, he was outsold 3-1 by Anne Frank, but Hitler
Man, you didn't beat the Harry Potter's books record. Wait, actually, how many books did the Harry Potter people made copies? Wait, I'm gonna see, guys. How many books were sold in Harry Potter? Oh, 600 million copies.
Hitler did have one last soul. Between 1905, it was estimated that he received over $5 billion in donations from his supporters. Most of this
5 billion. And who's this guy, bruh? Your haircut, not gonna lie, looks chopped, bruh.
business It's impressive how much personal money Hitler was able to milk out of his position, but his real wealth came from his military might. At its peak in 1942, Nazi Germany controlled nearly all of Europe, stealing hundreds of billions in resources.
Man, you're a stealer, man.
People into forced labor. So through his conquests, Hitler commanded resources worth $3 trillion in today's dollar.
Alright, bruh.
But before dictators, there was a man building a very different radical decision to double wages from $2.50 to $5 a day. He then cut the work week from 6 days to 5 days. After seeing the operations of meatpacking plants, Ford organized his workers in a line, an assembly line. What resulted was production time for the Ford. Ford's greatest invention wasn't after the success of Ford's mass production. Him as the inventor, Henry's success was only possible thanks to the men who came before him. On an individual level, the richest ever time. In 1324, a man went on a pilgrimage across a goal that had destabilized local. Trek come from second-hand history, but go back 100 years and there was a man with a very different kind of wealth. In the early 1200s, Genghis Khan controlled
Alright, man. 1200s, are we serious, bruh?
more land than any man in history. His Mongol Empire covered almost 20% of Earth's land area, making his estimated net worth in commanders to promote loyalty. Genghis wore the same clothes and ate the same
Who's Genghis, bruh?
food as his crew. He slept in tents and ever lived. But let's go even further back in time, to the year 1.
The year 1. What are we talking about, bro?
AD. The people alive right now have no idea that they're living through a turning point in history. Every country is kind of doing their own thing. America is building early cities thanks to snatched up Egypt as his personal property. He now controls around 20% of Rome's economic output, and that includes the tax flows, the treasury, the gold and silver mines, and revenue from conquered lands. He also has a money method where he kills rich people from his own empire just to take their stuff.
And that is Shaitan. The bald dude for Africa.
After Caesar passes in the year 14, he officially gets declared a god with an estimated modern-day net worth of $5 trillion. But let's go
Alright, 5 trillion is a lot, man.
back another 900 years. Civilization is in its early stages. Most people live short, difficult lives. Money in the form of coins doesn't yet exist. King Solomon rules over the kingdom of Israel, collecting gold by the ton. His yearly tax revenue is 666 talents of gold. He basks in his riches with his 700 wives, and in today's money, he's worth over $2 trillion. But this is all according to accounts in the Bible, written hundreds of years after he would have lived. So, who is the richest person in history? Looking at this graph, it seems like there's a lot of people who make Elon look broke. But these numbers don't tell the whole story. Hear me out. In 1913, John D. Rockefeller was worth 2% of US GDP. Today, Elon Musk is worth 1.4% of US GDP. So Rockefeller had a larger share of the economy, making his inflation-adjusted net worth higher than Elon's. But here's the catch. The US economy today is 22 times larger than it was in 1913. Rockefeller had a bigger slice of a much smaller pie. Estimated numbers don't tell the story of how the entire world has become more and more prosperous over time. Elon is now the biggest fish in the biggest pond that has ever existed. On top of this, his wealth is a personal fortune. It's well documented and verifiable, unlike ancient figures like King Solomon. It wouldn't disappear if he lost his positions of power, unlike dictators and heads of state. He can access it for whatever he wants, and he harnesses technology that ancient figures would think is witchcraft. Elon is the richest person in history, with his 400 billion today. Eventually, someone will get even richer, but based on history, everyone else will get richer too.
Man, why is he showing monkeys, bruh? What does monkeys has to do with this, bruh?